I just saw a rattlesnake. Despite a close encounter with a rattlesnake, Yosemite National Park wowed us with its deep valleys, giant waterfalls, and the spectacular mountain views. After discovering the biggest trees in the world at Sequoia National Park, we explored the top things to do in Yosemite, including the Mist Trail and Glacier Point. Make sure you stay to the end to get our tips for getting the most out of your time in Yosemite National Park. And talk about starting off this trip with a bang. We started this trip with great views of El Capitan and Bridalveil Falls. I've literally only been in Yosemite for like 20 minutes and it is so beautiful. Most beautiful park I've seen so far. So I think that is the rock that guy climbed in free solo. Seeing it in person is so much crazier. It is so much taller than I thought it would be. So here you can see the mist of Bridalveil Falls. It's August right now, so the falls aren't very full, but the mist you see still has to fall 620 feet to reach the bottom. It's just a tiny stream right now, but the springtime is when the fall is full. Next up, we took the very easy 20-minute walk to the lower Yosemite Fall. You can also hike up to the upper part of Yosemite Falls, but we opted to save our energy for another trail instead. So the Mist Trail is one of the most popular trails in the park due to all the waterfalls you get to see along the way. It's supposed to be moderate in parts and strenuous in others, so we'll show you what it's like. So we reached the start of the trail at 12 noon. So very late start, but we'll keep you posted on how long things take us. Straight up the mountain we go. Y'all, this quote-unquote moderate hike whooping my butt already.
I'm warmed up.
You warmed up?
We'll see what happens.
The view here is not bad though. Take a look. So it took us a full 30 minutes with a break to do the 0.8 miles to get to the footbridge. It was tough, guys. We had to take a break maybe 3 times. So beware when they say moderate, for the average person like me, I consider it strenuous. FYI. This little white thing right there is a giant waterfall. So you can see the power of the water right here. The view here is stunning though, and it is worth the climb, and I do think it's doable for most fitness types. Just allow plenty of time. It could take you up to an hour to get here. All right, to the next stop. There is a bathroom and a water refill station at the footbridge, so make sure to take advantage of that before you head up to Vernal Falls. They recommend at least 2 to 3 liters of water for the climb. Whew. So it's another 0.7 miles to the top of Vernal Falls. That's where we're heading next. These falls are gorgeous, and the breeze coming off of them is so refreshing. It's nice and cool, cools you down for the journey to come. So the nice thing, there is falls all along the route. So you have something nice to look at as you go along. So if you can read this very hard to read sign, Mist Trail continues this way We only have 0.3 miles to go to the fall, which is in Currency, and 1.6 miles to go to Nevada Fall. We might make it, people. We might make it. Climb a few stairs. The falls are right there. How stunning. For real though, this view is worth every huff and puff. Such a beautiful rainbow.
I wasn't expecting this much water actually. It's pretty nice. I can feel the spray from here. There's a lot of great energy in the waterfall, and down below you see the water just churning. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we can see why it's called the Mist Trail now. You can feel the mist of Vernal Falls, and it's really cool and beautiful.
But we still got a long way to go, so
we decided to stop and have lunch here. You cannot get a better view for lunch than this. So for lunch, we have a cranberry walnut salad for David. And I'm having, a spinach Dijon salad. Pretty good. Best view in the house too. Look how close the squirrels get. They are hungry, hungry, hungry. They are trying their best to get some of our lunch, see? But we're not supposed to feed the wildlife, no matter how much they beg. So we still have to climb all the way there. You see all these stairs? The journey is far from over. Wow. Woo! That's crazy. This spot right here will definitely make you smile. Super glad this rail is here. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So there's a natural water slide there, and people are going up and trying to slide down. Now we do not recommend that. We just showing you what's going on. There are signs clearly posted everywhere. Swimming in this emerald pool is forbidden, and people smarter than me made that sign to prevent me from dying. So I always follow those signs no matter what the crowd is doing.
Okay, Kendra and I just saw a guy about 5 minutes ago standing in the middle of the waterfall, maybe about 20 feet from the edge of the waterfall. He was on a rock with a backpack and a drone, and he was setting up his drone to fly it, which you're not allowed to do. He's not paying attention to where he's at. 20 feet away from them, if he slipped and fell in that water, he'd go over the waterfall. I'm not making it up. That guy's taking a huge risk with his life. And we see people doing things like that all the time. There's not enough rangers to protect you if you go over that waterfall and land on that big rock at the bottom of it. There's no way you're gonna come out of that alive. Big risk to take for no reason.
We value our lives. We have a lot to see and a lot left to do, so we don't want to do anything that is like a 90% chance of instant death, you know? So much power right beneath our footsteps. And look at that mountain view. Sometimes I forget to look up because the water is so pretty, but the mountains are gorgeous as well. And Nevada Falls is way up there. We haven't seen anyone in a while, proving that when you go the extra mile, it's not crowded.
Whew. We are out here today.
This is where the trail starts to get quiet and peaceful. There are no other people out here. Now, if it wasn't so late, we probably would continue to the top because we still have the energy. We just worry about the time. And we don't like driving in the dark. There's no lights on the road, so we like to drive by while it's still sunlight. So at the very least, we get to see the falls with all our breaks, eating lunch. We got here around 3:10, so it took us 3 hours to get here. And I think that's about right. 3 hours up, 3 hours down. So I think we're about average pace. And you see how high the top of the fall is? Yeah, I don't really have to go up there. I'm just gonna appreciate the view and the quiet because nobody's around.
I brought my knee braces today. I didn't have them yesterday. And going up the hill is challenging, but also coming down the hill can be more challenging on your knees. Puts a lot of energy and a lot of weight on your knees. So I like having my knee braces for that.
Y'all, I just saw a rattlesnake. Luckily, there was a guy there and he blocked the path so we could walk past him. That was super scary. Super scary. I don't know if I got footage of it or not, but I just wanted to document. He was huge and I could see his little rattle and he was just chilling on the side of the trail. I don't know how I'd get out of here if he bit me. I mean, the snake was so well camouflaged. I probably would have never spotted if it wasn't for that guy. Thank goodness for a good Samaritan.
Yeah, if you're lazy like us, you could just come to the footbridge and watch the waterfall pass right by you.
The waterfall's right there, and you don't have to go up the extra mile. So I really think we're gonna add more hiking to our itinerary as we travel. So as we go through the Balkans, you might see us take a hike or two for a change. What do you say, David?
Oh, sure, why not? We can do it.
We can do it. We made it back to the start of the trail. How long did it take us? So it took us an hour and 45 minutes to climb down. So pretty much half the time. 3 hours up, hour and a half down, more or less.
More or less.
So it really is a 5 to 6 hour journey. And I do recommend it.
And I'm impressed with myself because I'm not crawling yet, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm still on my feet. I'm still walking. That's a good sign. I'm getting stronger.
You see, I'm still smiling even. We just saw a troop of guys that just got done doing a 230-mile hike through the park. It took them 15 days. And man, I don't know if I want to get to that level, but I'm impressed.
That works out to about 15 miles a day.
Yeah.
Every day you got to get up and say, okay, let's go. There's not a day in there where you got to say, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's very inspiring.
In addition to the Yosemite Valley, we highly recommend checking out Glacier Point. Right now we're stopped at the Washburn Viewpoint, and this stop is spectacular because you can see 3 different waterfalls. We hiked the Mist Trail yesterday, so we were able to get a up close and personal look at Vernal Falls and Nevada Falls, but here you can see them both at the same time in the distance, as well as to see the Half Dome. So gorgeous to see. Glacier Point is another must-see viewpoint.
So this is the Yosemite Valley. Look how far down that is. You have the Bridalveil Falls over here. You have the Royal Arches right here. And you have the Half Dome right here that is about 8,800 square feet. And when it's spring, you can see Mirror Lake right here, but it's completely dry right now. Such a fascinating place.
And if you want to learn more about how this beautiful valley was formed, you can learn about it at the geology exhibit. Now, our top tips for getting the most out of your time in Yosemite is to make reservations. Now, Yosemite National Park requires advanced reservations to enter the park, and they do fill up during peak season. To avoid disappointment, make sure you reserve your spot at least a week in advance. The links for reservations are in the description box below. We'd also recommend to stay in the park. Although we're not experienced campers, I really wish we decided to camp in the park. For accommodation, we found a nice and expensive Airbnb for about $49 a night in the Jamestown, Sonora area. However, the 3-hour round-trip drive got old really fast. I wish we spent less time driving and more time experiencing the beautiful park. Yosemite entrance costs $35 per car, and that expense covers as many people in your car as you can fit. The tickets last for 3 days, so you have plenty of time to explore the park. However, if you're going to visit more than 3 national parks in a year, we highly recommend getting the annual National Park Pass for about $80. It's definitely worth the investment, and you can see a lot of beautiful parks that way. Please make sure to fill up on gas before you come. Yosemite is a very large park with limited gas stations, and it may take you over an hour to reach a gas station. So make sure you fill up before you come. We suggest bringing plenty of food and water with you so you can eat whenever you get hungry. There's nothing worse than being hours away from a restaurant when you're hungry. Yosemite does not have any cellular data coverage, which is great for disconnecting from the world, but it can be challenging to use GPS to navigate back to your accommodations. So make sure to download any maps that you may need to your phone before arriving to the park. Our next stop is Lake Tahoe, so please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when our latest video is up.
So if you enjoyed exploring Yosemite with us, please give the video a like. Thanks so much for watching, and happy travel planning. Until next time, peace.